Hello and welcome to This is Paris, taking you up close and personal with French champions Paris Saint-Germain. Coming up, Paris are top dogs with a classic Grand Slam.
La verdad que no lo esperaba.
Très content parce que c'est le Classico.
Kylian Mbappé and Marie-Antoinette Katoto talk scoring goals.
C'est du talent, c'est du talent.
The women's team march on in the Champions League.
Le principal est acquis, la qualification bien sûr.
And Marco Verratti extends his stay in the French capital.
On peut faire de grandes choses ensemble.
It's Paris versus Marseille. It's a special game, a special atmosphere. It's not just another game. It's not just 3 points. We're playing a game for all the fans, for the city of Paris. I know the fans would rather lose 3 in a row than lose to Marseille. That's what I've told all the new players, that this is a game where there are no excuses. You have to give it everything and win. It's a classique. We must respect our opponent, our supporters, and the history of this fixture. It's another huge game at a high level. It's the classique. A classique is always a very important match for the players, and especially the fans. That's Angel. We know how good he is. He has an incredible touch. When a player goes, makes a run, like for me, an attacker, from the beginning of the move, he already knows where he has to put the ball, and he gives it to you in that exact place to score. It's always possible to press with intensity when you lose the ball. It's like a 12th player to me. If you have that, running with intensity, winning the ball, it gives you the chance to create something against an unorganized team. We were very committed. We dominated in all areas. Even when we were forced back, we were all back together. We pressed them very well. They didn't have any chances, and we played out of their pressing. They played a high defense, and we launched some attacks because of that. With that pass from Ander, Keylor had to make sure he didn't miss the control. It was superb. We managed to play from one side to the other. It came back, and then I was at the origin of the action. I managed to break that first line with Marco. Then Marco found Di Maria. And then Kylian getting in behind is his strength. It was a great goal. In the first half, we played very well. Then obviously when you're winning 4-0, the team relaxes a little. We need to improve on that. We've relaxed and we weren't able to score any more goals. We showed the mentality and determination necessary to win a classique. Scoring 2 goals in my first classique, honestly, it's beyond my expectations. This is a big win, 4-0. I'm very happy for the team and for our supporters. 4-0, like that, against our rivals. We have to celebrate with the fans because it's a good time. And good times like that, you have to enjoy them. Saturday, the 26th of October, and the Paris Saint-Germain women's team were heading to Marseille, while their male counterpart welcomed their Olympic rivals to the capital. Olivier Echouafny's side travelled south for their weekend Division 1 clash, with the aim of confirming their place at the top of the Division 1 standings in a classique whose atmosphere is always something special. You know what's going to happen tomorrow. It's all about the mental aspect. You have to be tough. They'll play with their heart, but we're Paris Saint-Germain. At the Paul Lessens Stadium, the Parisian girls didn't waste any time. 13 minutes in, and Marie-Antoinette Katoto opened the scoring. A quarter of an hour later, and Eve Perisset doubled the advantage. It was a corner that Nadia took. I waited a little and then crossed. Basically, I wanted to cross, and it was a cross-come shot that ended up in the back of the net, and that was good for the team. 2-0, and then 3-0 thanks to a second goal from Katoto. Nadia Nadim hit the crossbar with the free kick. But Grace Guilloro made no mistake on 54 minutes. Nadia Nadim then got the fifth and final goal from the penalty spot as Paris recorded a clear victory. We're very satisfied. We had to ignore what was going on around the ground, and that wasn't easy. The only answer we could give was on the pitch. We're very happy because there was a certain pressure with Lyon's result yesterday. We're also very happy because this is the Classique, and we're happy because we also pleased our fans. Still to come on This Is Paris, we discuss the art of goal scoring with Mbappe and Katoto. Paris Saint-Germain versus Breidablik in the Champions League. And finally, Marco Verratti extends his stay in the French capital. Both netted braces in Le Classique last weekend and finished last season as top scorers in their respective leagues. Kylian Mbappe and Marie-Antoinette Katoto are two formidable and feared strikers. The two Parisian stars got together to discuss the art of goal scoring. A striker is different. First of all, they're driven by scoring. A striker is a player who's driven by the goal. All his movements are designed around scoring. And the position has evolved a lot. We ask more of forwards to take part in the play more, to help with their movement, create goals. The position has evolved, and that's where Marie is so impressive because she's a modern striker, capable of staying up front as an old number 9 or dropping deeper and getting involved in the game. Technically, she's very skillful and she can make runs in behind. He's added a lot to his game. He was already very good in front of goal, but he's getting better and better. This cold-bloodedness, making the difference all the time, being hungry for goals, is very impressive. It was in the Champions League against Braga in Portugal. I had a look around, I saw the girl behind me, and then I had a bit of luck. That's not luck, that's talent, pure talent. She controls the ball, everyone thinks she's going to shoot, she dummies and hits it to the back post. Very neat. And you're not celebrating, were you angry? Is she angry? There's everything that mixes up at the same time when you score. There are games when you feel it's very important, you're pumped. And there are games where it's more for fun, when your family are there and you want to celebrate for them, when you're happy to be on the field. Scoring is the important thing. You can't celebrate if you don't score. A 1-2 with Juan. He gave the ball to Angel. I know Angel loves to look for the last pass, to look for something special. So I make the run. I controlled it well, rounded the keeper, and finished. That second goal was my favorite of the hat-trick, because he was at the start of the move and there at the end. His run was beautiful, really good, and the finish, clinical. Against Bordeaux in the league, it was a big game, and a difficult one to put away because the cross was behind me. You have to be there in the right place. The ball's high, the goalkeeper's not there, but it's not easy. I don't think it's the hardest she's scored, but it's not easy, not as easy as you'd think. It was 0-0, it was the first goal. It broke the game open. That one was a bit lucky. You have to be there. Yes, you have to be there, but it goes between the player's legs. The goalkeeper doesn't see it, so he can't react. But yes, you have to be there. It's one of those 3 or 4 goals in a season where you need a bit of luck. I tried something and it came off. It wasn't easy. I had to move very quick, and looking back I tell myself I need to keep working hard to score more goals like that. That goal made history. You're the player that made history. You scored the goal that won the trophy against a great Lyon side. That's incredible. It will remain. It will be remembered that Katoto gave Paris victory in the French Cup against the great Lyon. After the big win over Marseille in Le Classique, attentions turned quickly to the Champions League for the Paris Saint-Germain women. Les Rouges et Bleus, 4-0 winners in the first leg in Iceland, entertained Breidablik in the return leg for a place in the quarter-finals. We know it's a Champions League game. You have to put in all the ingredients if you want to get the result. I told them, you don't play this game every weekend against such a determined opponent, a side that wants to win, that needs to win to qualify. The first chance of the game came the way of the visitors. Alexandra Johansdottir saw her shot stopped by Katarzyna Kicinek in the 5th minute. It sparked Paris into life, the home side opening the scoring immediately with a fine Jordan Heidemer goal.
Drove forward, just happy enough the ball bounced perfectly out. I think Karina got a little touch on it, which bounced out perfectly to me. Just tried to stay calm and composed and finish it on a volley.
Olivier Echouafni's side enjoyed the lion's share of possession and the chances followed. But neither Sarah de Brits nor Pearl Maroney could fire Paris clear. There were some good passages of play, but we have a problem with our finishing. We're too naive. We need to be more aggressive in front of goal. Breidablik was still in it, and they equalized through Berglind Thorvaldsdottir. It was the first goal conceded by Les Rouges et Bleus in the competition this term.
We weren't pleased at all with that. We wanted to still keep the 0 and a clean sheet this game, but things happen and the opponents are doing good things too.
We conceded that goal at the end of the first half, but we fought back well in the second. On the hour mark, summer signing youngster Leah Khalifi saw her effort turned onto the post by the opposition keeper. Lina Boussard, 10 minutes later, saw her shot slip through the keeper's hands and onto the crossbar. In the end, it was Jordan Heidemer who finally restored Paris Saint-Germain's lead in the 78th minute, running on to Anaïta Zamanian's through ball.
Whenever Hitu gets on the field, I think we have a real connection. So her slip ball was perfect, couldn't have asked for anything better. Really set me up and just needed to slip it in the net at that point.
The Parisians finally won 3-1 thanks to a goal from Kadi Diatou Diani in stoppage time. Even if we scored both goals a little late, we qualified, and that's the main thing, especially getting a win in this return leg.
Bonjour, c'est Marco, et vous regardez This is Paris.
Marco Verratti has extended his contract with Paris Saint-Germain. The Italy star midfielder, the most successful player in the club's history with 22 trophies, has signed on for 3 more seasons until 2024. It makes me very happy. As I said on the very first day I signed here, I feel at home. I'm someone who feels very attached very quickly. I think Paris has given me a lot. The club helped me realize the dream I had as a child, that of playing great games with great players, against great players. Paris allowed me to do this, and I feel great here. I hope I can repay all the things the club has done for me. And that only comes from hard work, by giving it all for this jersey. I can't guarantee we'll win everything, but we'll try our maximum to meet everyone's expectations. I feel like I play for a team that has big ambitions. For me, that's the main thing, because I want to try and win as much as possible. Here I was given this opportunity because we have a great team. We have a great coach, and together we can achieve great things. With the arrival of Ander, with the arrival of Gay, there's even more competition for places. But it's something that feels good for us, because we're all a bit different. This way the coach can choose in relation to the opposition. He knows how to play, if we can play with 2 or 3 in midfield. I think that in today's football, everyone has to take responsibility. In today's football, tactically, you can't afford to play with just 10 players. Everyone has to do their job, because it's a really tough game. Against Marseille, Marco Verratti partnered Herrera and Marquinhos in midfield, a trio that worked perfectly against a Marseille side overrun in midfield. We had really prepared well for the game. I could already see before we came out of the changing room, everyone was focused, that everyone was going to do their job. And I think when we play like that, especially at home, in front of our fans, it's really hard for anyone else to come and get anything from the game. We had a very good first half, spectacular, especially in defense, all over the park. And that's why I think we deserve to be 4 up. It could even have been more. After a trip to Dijon in the league, Paris will be back on Champions League duty when they host Bruges. Les Rouges et Bleus looking to continue their perfect start to the group phase. You have to take it match by match in the Champions League. Until now, we've done well. It's not easy because we play the best teams in Europe. Bruges are the best team in Belgium. Galatasaray are used to playing in the Champions League, and it's hard to play there. Real, well, that's Real Madrid. We're really happy with what we've done so far, but we haven't won anything yet. We can't look further down the track. We just have to think about our next game against Bruges in the Champions League.
Abonne-toi à la chaîne YouTube du Paris Saint-Germain en cliquant ici.